Star Wars The Force Awakens is really good. I know this movie is already 5 years old, but I just started my channel and I want my chance to talk about it. I remember the day I saw the trailer for this movie. I was watching cartoons on Nickelodeon and during the commercial break, the trailer started playing. At first, I didn't think it was a real trailer. I thought it was a fan film. But when I found out it was real, I pre-ordered tickets as soon as they were available. I was super excited to see this movie, and my 11-year-old expectations were set very high, and this movie did not disappoint. And now, after watching this movie for the 4th time in the past 5 years, I can officially say that The Force Awakens is my favorite Star Wars movie. No, wait, let me explain. This video will be the opposite of the previous video. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet, it's in the top right corner. I rewatched The Force Awakens and wrote down all of the things I liked about it. I will try my best to review this movie without any influence from The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker. Let's just pretend that those movies don't exist. My criticisms fall under 3 categories, which will be the 3 main points of this video. I will also sprinkle in some of the bad things about this movie throughout the video, because this movie isn't perfect. But I wasn't kidding about this movie being my favorite. So, main point number 1. The movie is visually impressive. I can't even begin to tell you how many times the movie blew me away with the visuals. Many of the locations felt like real places that you could visit. This movie's visuals showed me how beautiful Star Wars could be, and it really makes me sad that the original trilogy wasn't made today, because if it was, it would look amazing. I mean, really, even Rey can't handle how beautiful Takodana is.
I didn't know there was this much green in the whole galaxy.
It's just so green and luscious, and if this is a real place, I'd definitely visit it. Hey everyone, this is me in post-production, and turns out that it is a real place. It's called the Forest of Dean in England. Definitely gonna add that one to the bucket list. Not to mention how cool it was when Rey was scavenging an Imperial Star Destroyer. These things always look tiny because they're in space, but when Rey was inside of it, she looked like an ant. Jakku is also nice. I mean, it's pretty much the Walmart version of Tatooine, but it doesn't bother me because they don't stay in it for too long. Many things from this movie are reminiscent of A New Hope, but the movies aren't that similar. I didn't mind that Dakar and Yavin 4 look similar. This movie is still unique enough to be its own thing. Many people have already addressed this, so I'm not going to talk about it too much because everything I was going to say has already been said. However, the similarities don't bother me, and this movie still felt very original. Also, I don't know why, but the super laser in Starkiller Base was also visually impressive.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Overall, the camera work and set design in this movie is amazing, and after the prequels, it's refreshing to see a world that the fans can actually immerse themselves into. And this brings me to main point number 2. The movie is well structured. I have never seen a movie that is able to pull this off as well as The Force Awakens. It managed to fit a lot into the movie without being too overwhelming or fast-paced. Unlike The Rise of Skywalker, this movie slows down when it's necessary and it has a lot of great dialogue. Watching this movie feels like an experience because of how well structured it is. It is the perfect balance of emotions. I really don't know how The Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker were made by the same person because they feel so different. Each character was written so well that you kind of forget they were written by other people, unlike the prequels.
You're so beautiful.
It's only because I'm so in love.
No. No, it's because I'm so in love with you.
I threw up.
When Han and Leia see each other again, it was a very emotional scene. But then C-3PO had to ruin it.
Goodness! Han Solo! It is I, C-3PO.
This scene did not have to be funny. Also, the scenes where Han and Leia are talking about Ben are so sad, and it shows that they both care about him and love him. He's just too clouded by the dark side to see it. The acting is also very good. Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver's performances are very moving, especially in that interrogation scene.
You're so lonely. so afraid to leave. At night, desperate to sleep. You imagine an ocean. I see it.
The performances in this movie were very well coordinated. And this brings me to my final main point. The characters in this movie are amazing. Finn and Kylo Ren have the most interesting character arcs in this entire movie. A stormtrooper turning from the First Order is a unique and well-rounded concept. And I know, I said I wasn't going to invoke the other movies, but the fact that Disney couldn't write this character any further after The Force Awakens is terrible, and just goes to show how much Disney doesn't care about making good quality Star Wars movies. And Kylo Ren is probably the best thing to come out of the sequel trilogy. He is the only character to get a mostly consistent character arc throughout all three movies, but in this movie he makes the wrong decision to be evil. Han Solo's death is probably one of the most saddest scenes in Star Wars. I've never been this close to crying in the theater, and this scene is so full of emotion. In Kylo's twisted mind, he thought that killing Han Solo would allow him to be free of his conflict between light and dark, but he was wrong. After killing Han, he feels the opposite. He feels even more conflicted, and he feels remorse for killing his father. The Han Solo from A New Hope wouldn't stick his neck out for anyone, but this Han Solo is so much older and wiser. This scene was very dark and tragic, and to this day, it still makes me sad to think that Han Solo was killed by his own son. Rey's story also had me intrigued, but since it was incomplete in this movie and ruined in the other two movies, it's not my favorite story. Maz Kanata was a welcome addition to the movie. She gives Rey the closure she desperately needs, and I am so disappointed she isn't co-teaching Rey the ways of the Force with Leia. I mean, she did say she knows how the Force works. And finally, I liked Poe's character in this movie, but I really don't get why Poe was missing for so long. They also didn't show us how he got back to the Resistance, and I think that's an important detail they just left out. But, flaws and all, this movie is still my favorite movie because of the excitement before, during, and after. It was a nice palate cleanser after the prequels, and it showed me how good Star Wars could be. I love this movie, and I hope that you like it as much as I do now. Well, you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Please consider hitting that big red button to subscribe to my channel. I will try to post my next video very soon, so stick around. See you later.